big news. Morgan Rielly, the guy we were all saying is going to get traded away or leave at the end of the year, just got signed 8 years, $7.5 million per. What do we think?
Just as we all guessed, he was going to sign an 8-year deal. That definitely is what we thought.
What do we think? What's your first impressions?
Yeah, I guess so. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like, he took technically a discount, so we can't be mad at him. It's like the Johnny T thing with like, oh, he could have got 13, so we can't be mad at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he took a little bit of a discount, enough that we can't fucking scream at him, high enough that he's still rich for 10 generations.
Yeah.
The contract will look worse. I was trying to do some math on like, let's say that contract is shit in the fifth year.
Yeah.
6. So fifth year. So 5 more years for the cap to go up. Maybe it's up another 10 million. So technically that's about 12%. So take 12% off that 7.5, which is $1 million. So at that time, it's going to be like 6.5 now. Right. So that's what it'll kind of equate to. And, you know, I saw a tweet and it's like, all this tells you is we have like 3 years to win. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, we could be mediocre and stuff later, but like being a Stanley Cup champion, especially as you see it in the last, you know, how many years, or like Stanley Cup finalists, is you have to be pretty fucking good. Obviously, stroke of luck, right? Blues. Well, the Blues weren't even that bad, right? They started out dead last, but they weren't really that bad. But you have to be pretty damn elite. And a lot of these contracts are telling us that like we're not going to be elite for very, very long. I'm hoping some of these contracts or like this Rielly deal makes maybe Marner, Matthews, and Nylander not fuck us completely. Because like, you know, you guys have already made $60 million. Do you guys need another $100 million? So, I mean, they're probably going to say yes. But
Mark, what was your thoughts? And then I'll get into mine.
Yeah, kind of off what Din said. It's either it looks really good if you win the cup within the next 3 years, but if you don't and you just bust out of the first round of the playoffs again, then the contract looks terrible. And you're like, we should have spread the money around. And
yeah, 48 million.
I saw a thing. It was like, 5 of our players are taking 56% of our.
No, 58.
58%. Yeah, that blew my mind.
So sounds like economics in North America.
23. if you have a 21-man roster, it's 23% of the guys making 58% of the money. So they're making 2.5 times the average amount of what they should be making.
Right. So Morgan Rielly probably for 7 years could have gotten, if his rights didn't get, well, I guess he would have been a free agent. So 7 years would have been the max, probably would have been around $9 million on the open market, especially with the Kraken have so much free cap space.
8.5, 9.
Yeah. So in the end, it was one of those deals that I think, honestly, like it would be interesting to see when guys like Duncan Keith, now I know they're not like super comparable, but like when guys like that who were known for their skating went downhill as a defenseman. Now Erik Karlsson is one of those guys where it went down because he was just super injury prone, right? But like I think Morgan Rielly could make good on that deal until he's about 33, 34, which is near the end. And then he has the final 2 years are the years that he has that 10-team no movement clause, and then you can trade him. So it's one of the, like, who the fuck knows what we're going to be, what kind of team we're going to be down the road. But by that time, John Tavares will be probably re-signed with the guys for a lot less money. There'll be a lot of space open. Then you'll have re-signed Matthews. Marner, if he's still with the team, might have realized that signing a deal for so much and then puts a lot of pressure on him. And maybe he'll be one of those guys that can take a little bit less.
Well, so also these guys have already made $60 million.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
not counting ads that guys like Marner still do and can do. If they win a cup, they're going to be set for life. You know, they're
going to be 26 to 29 with a family and like $100 million, right? Yep. They might value a little bit more of like respect and like winning and stuff like that, which like I honest to God think they will. Now, you know, Rielly took, let's say, 12% pay cut. Right. If Matthews wanted 13.5, if he takes 12% less, you're looking at 12. Right.
I don't care about Matthews. You give him a blank check.
Oh, no, you know what I mean? Or if Marner wants 11.5 or 12 and he takes the 15% pay cut, okay, that's 10.5, or that's the same deal again.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, even if
so
Marner, when he comes up, takes the same deal he has now,
that's
but the
fine.
cap will be, it's fine, right? So it's one,
and
like
again, the cap will be getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because Nylander's probably going to want more, right?
Yeah,
it's just funny how.
Dude,
but let's not worry about that.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about that this year.
I do like
the deal.
Yeah.
I do like.
I honest to fucking. I do like the deal. I honest to God think this deal. Like, dude, I don't think you can have 5 players making $48 million. I know we make the joke of this 4 with 40, but I seriously don't fucking think you can have 5 people making $48 million, especially with Campbell coming up. I do get so Rielly's contract is paid for the $1 million jump in cap and the 1.25 off Kessel. That basically pays Rielly right there. So I get that, but like I was looking forward to that for other things.
Right. I think what we've learned so far in the season is that guys like Kerfoot are definitely expendable.
Gone.
That's 3.5 million. Justin Hall, whether if he's gone within the next week or if he's gone at the end of the season, that's another 2 million. So that's $5.5 million that you're having to sign Jack Campbell and to sign some depth guys. And hopefully guys like Nick Robertson will be up next year and not get hurt like he always does. And that we have some more depth guys, maybe Rodion Amirov within the next 2 years, that Steve's guy looked good. Like there's a lot of guys coming up that can make the team and fill up those depth pieces. You sign guys like Kasha every year because of the Leafs medical staff, and you can find guys like that for cheap and who are needing to prove it.
What you're right about is we could have this exact same team next year. If that's a good thing. Or you know what I mean? Like, and plus like you do need guys like, because if we can have the same team next year, I almost get more excited about next year because what we've talked about is you need to win with entry level guys playing out of their ass, right? You need Sandin, Liljegren, Robertson, and Amirov, and let's say someone else playing out of their ass. And playing out of their ass could be a good third line player, but that's technically playing out of your ass at $750,000 a year, right? Or like a decent second line player because he's playing with 2 like superstars. That's playing out of your ass, right? Kerfoot's sucking at $3.5 million on the second line is not playing out of your ass.
Yeah, Mark, right? What were you going to say?
Well, as soon as they re-signed him, you guys seemed pretty dead set that they were going to get rid of Hall or another player.
So Hall's healthy scratched. So right now they have Rielly and Dermott.
Dermott, which Rielly, Dermott, Muzzin, Brody. I like
and then Sandin and Liljegren. So that $2 million because of like for next year, and then also if he trades him for a forward now, if he trades him for picks, that $2 million will have, if we're looking like we are going to make the playoffs and make a run, that's a lot of trade deadline capital to have, right? And
that's neat.
Yeah, and even Kerfoot at 3.5, that guy, he is expendable at this point because other teams are going to be looking to Kerfoot to be their second. Bad teams would love a guy 3.5 on the second line, and Kerfoot can do it, just not very good, right? So
or like middle of the line contenders just to make a spot, because you do make like a poor team making the playoffs is good.
Yeah.
Right. So, I'm sure Kerfoot probably runs off signing bonus. I'm sure he's not owed that much money. Right. I guarantee it because fucking Dubas signed the contract. Right. So I'm guessing, a team at halfway through the season could get Kerfoot. I bet you probably for $1 million. And if that will boost your team a bit, I'm sure, especially if you're like a borderline team and he can play second line minutes. And maybe that's the thing that gets you over the hump, because these non-factor poor teams making the playoffs gets them a lot of money.
Yeah. And you have him secured for another year after this.
Yeah.
So the only thing with the Hall, if that is something that, which I'm not going to be upset if he gets traded. I think his value is still at a point where you can trade him for something. The issue is, Dan, you mentioned trading for a forward. Where's our depth on D? So there's Brandon Meno in the minors. There's Biega, but those guys are not, you can't have them in your top 6 if an injury happens and win the cup.
So I'm lying about him getting traded today, but there's this weird thing where they're letting Timothy, they're trying this out because they want to see if they need Hull, right? Let's be honest, right? Because they'll say would be sheltering, right? They're seeing if this works, right? They're just saying like, could this be a thing? So, because Muzzin needs help. So if he needs Brody now, and if Rielly and Dermott can play together, then there legitimately is no room. If the thing is, the only reason Hall had a spot was because of Muzzin, and that was fine because he actually made Muzzin what seemed like better. But if Muzzin now needs help, well, you can't have, the blind leading the blind. You can't have Hall and Muzzin together who both need each other's help when they both suck. So if Brody's supposed to prop him up, then you need to figure something out. And I really think that Sandy Lilligren thing is them being like, if this works, and in hockey, it doesn't take them that long to think or make the judgment call if it works or not. So if it works, the only problem is you do need to trade Hall quick because you need to keep his value.
Yeah. I feel like it's only going down so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So especially because you can't wait a month. Yeah, you can't wait a month. Right.
Yeah. But we're all fans of the Rielly deal.
Yeah.
We got a discount.
I'm not a fan, right? Yeah. Like, because I didn't think they're like the other option, guys. Let's be fucking honest now. Is he was walking?
Yep.
So
yeah.
And I mean, in the playoffs, if there was about 3 guys you could choose that stepped up and that always seem to step up in the playoffs, Rielly is one of them.
He makes you better.
Yep. And they're like Jake Gardiner was one of those guys that if he didn't make fucking mistakes all the time in the playoffs, he did step up. Like he sometimes looked like the best defenseman on the ice. And Morgan Rielly in the playoffs looks awesome. So you want those guys on your team. You deserve to reward the people who are actually showing up in the playoffs. But I guess we'll see. Hopefully we get there.
Yeah.
That's
the thing too, right? Like I wish I'd be way happier if we were like fucking 6-2-1 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Like we're talking about
we'll get there.
Right. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
77 4-1, baby.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up tomorrow night. We're going to do the post game Saturday night after we blow out the Red Wings. That was my prediction. Mark made his prediction of 2-1 Leafs. Din, what's yours?
Who are we facing?
Red Wings.
Fuck. Why is it always a team that's like
that we're expected to win, and then we just get fucked?
5-1 Leafs.
Same.
Looking.
All right.
Looking.
Shit.
Look at that. Great minds think alike. All right, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.